Great day, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Fast Track Academy. Today, we're going to focus on the one-on-one of prospecting, and I have a good friend, Mr. Christoph. He's going to be sharing some tips and techniques at the end of this. But let me just ask a question. How many of you struggle with the idea of cold calling? If that's you, just raise your hand or drop a fire emoji or drop a sad face in the comment section. And so one of the things that Chris and we want to be intentional about, and that is giving you strategies and ideas in different ways that you can generate income or do prospecting and generate income without the old antiquated cold call. So first thing I always like to start with, and that is what I call a mind shift. A mind shift is basically saying we're looking at this differently. We're not looking at this through the lens of how we did it, how it used to be done years ago. That's not what this is about. What we want to do is we want to do a mind shift. And a mind shift to me is no longer look at your prospecting activity as these dreaded cold calls. I want you to get the image in your mind that it's a warm call. I call it for myself. When I do it, I call it dialing for dollars. And so that's the mind shift that I want you to have. So that's the first mind shift when it comes to prospecting, is that you are dialing for dollars. The second mind shift is, if you're in real estate, the mindset is someone out there is thinking of listing their home. They just don't know where I'm at. Somebody out there right now is thinking about selling their home. Someone out there right now is thinking about buying a home, and they just don't know where I'm at. The third mindset that I encourage you to have as we set up to go through the one-on-one of prospecting is this: rejection is part of the deal, man. It's part of the deal, you know. And so when I get a chance to do coaching, we look at numbers. You got to know how many phone calls leads to an appointment. How many appointments can I close? And out of those closed appointments, how many of these appointments or these closed appointments or the signature that we get, how long or how many of them make it to the settlement table if you're in real estate? And so that's the ideal. That's the mind shift that you have. You're not cold calling. It's dialing for dollars. Someone out there's thinking of selling. They just don't know where you're at. And you have to understand that rejection is part of it. You signed up for it. When you raised your hand and said, I wanted to be a sales professional, you were handed the keys to the kingdom. You were also handed an opportunity for someone to tell you no. And here's a thought about getting to know. Getting a no simply means not now. It could be maybe later, and it could mean next as you go through this. So let's get right to this. So this one-on-one of prospecting, what is that all about? How does it affect us? And how do we transition through this idea that it is not cold calling, but is warm dialing, right? And so most salespeople still use outdated tactics. And cold calling leads to burnout. It leads to rejection. And I mentioned that it leads to efficiency. And there's a better way to modern prospecting that attracts rather than chases. It attracts and not chase. That's important to know, that we are attracting business and not chasing it. We are attracting it. Here's another thing to think about, our mindset to have as relates to this attraction piece is whatever I hold in my mind, eventually I will hold in my hand. The way we think matters. The way we think matters. And so we want to progress through this prospecting one-on-one process. You know, I mentioned mind shift earlier. You know, prospecting isn't chasing, it's tracking. You move from transactional pursuit to relational positioning. Before you can ask for what's in their hand, you have to connect with what's in their heart, right? And then the formula for prospecting is position yourself as valuable, present solutions before pitching, and then pursue only the right people. You know, when I think about this, I met a realtor not too long ago, came into my office. Oh my goodness, Rich. Oh my goodness, Rich. I need to have a higher split on my commission. I need to have a higher split because other companies are after me. I was like, oh my goodness, who are the companies? He said the gas company, the electric company,
Yeah, that's good.
the cell phone company. They're after me. I want a higher split. Hey man, you don't need a higher split. You need a better strategy. See, our businesses aren't broken, but our strategy is. I know that's tough talk and it's love from me, but our business isn't broken. Our strategy is. When was the last time you shared your marketing plan with your customers and you embedded a call to action, right? And so it's not the business is broken. It's not that real estate is so hard. It's that maybe our strategy needs an adjustment. And that's what Chris and I want to do today. We want to help you with an adjustment to your strategy. I call these the 3 prospecting plays. Visibility, right, is the new cold call or dialing for dollars. Be where your audience is be where your audience already is. Be where your audience already is. So where is your audience? I'll get into a grammatical thing here. Is or are. So think about this. I'm in a DC metro area. My niche market is for sell by owners, expired listings, and distressed properties, right? So I want to be where for sell by owners are. I want to be where expired listings are. I want to be in that environment, and as I call it in my term, in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not in the room, you don't have an opportunity for the deal. You don't have an opportunity for the sale. Mm-hmm. So, and then the second thing is leverage warm introduction. Ask for strategic connections, right? Let me give you a quick example of that. If you're at a Walmart or a Target or a Nordstrom, wherever you're at the cash register or the customer service center. And I have fun with this when I do this. Is as the person is ringing up my purchase or assisting me with the sale or whatever, however they're helping me, doesn't matter if I'm going to Home Depot to buy wood. I'm going to do this. Hey, man, you know what? You'll be good in my business. And they usually say, what business are you in? Wham, I hit them with a business card. I said, real estate. That's what I do. I say real estate, right? And so then if you know of anyone I'm at Home Depot now, if you know of anyone who's remodeling their home, if you know of anyone that's, hey, do me a favor, share this information with me, share my information with them. Or when you see me again, share their information with me. Leverage warm introduction and ask for strategic connection. The third thing is data-driven targeting. Use CRM and social data to find ready prospects. Data-driven targeting. And I love what Chris is going to share in just a few minutes about how to data drive and target using a tool to find ready prospects. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to spend our time trying to convince someone to list with me, trying to convince someone to buy a home with me. We don't want to spend our time doing that. There's a principle in place that says 20% of our time, 80% of the results comes from 20% of the focus. 80% of the results come from 20% of the focus. Why would I spend 80% of my time with 20% of my market share and they are individuals who are not ready to buy? I want to spend my time with those who are ready to buy. Now, listen, I hope this is making sense. If this is making sense, drop a 5 in the comment section. Drop a 5 in the comment section if this is making sense. So now building that prospecting flow. It's a 5-step no cold call funnel flow. Number 1, identify your ideal audience. I use a tool like Landvoice to help me do that. Second thing, engage with educational-based content. What does that mean? Unpack that a little bit. So engaging with educational-based content simply means I'm not asking for what's in your hand. I want to add value to you. I'm going to tell you information about the market share. And our market in the state of Maryland, I live in the state of Maryland, from January 2025 to September 2025, 15,500 federal workers are laid off. Right. And I just pause on that because it's, I'm feeling that I feel with families, and I have friends that are government workers that were laid off. One lady said that she went to check her email on a Sunday night and she got an email and said, by the way, don't come in because your position is eliminated. Sunday night, you get an email. Right? There's a severance package, but you still get an email. So education. So now it shifts a little bit in my marketing, my messages, right? So now it's more about finding information for federal employees. If they are my target audience, Find information where they can get assistance and be the champion for them with that information. Does that make sense? So engage with educational based content. Capture interest with a free value offer. That's a CTA. I got a CTA for you at the end of today. Right. And listen, I know I'm talking fast. I'm a category 5 hurricane. When I get started, man, I easily gust upwards to over 300 miles an hour. The good thing for you is this is recorded and it's going to be on the Facebook page. It's going to be on LinkedIn. It's going to be on social media. So you can watch it again and again and again. The fourth thing in this 5-step no cold call funnel is nurture through automation. Nurture through automation. Have campaigns. If I'm using social media, I would, and check this out later. Don't do it now because you're on this call. Go to Hootsuite, Hootsuite, Hootsuite. Hootsuite for a small fee will allow you to manage 5 or more social media platforms at the same time. And you can schedule your social media posts 30, 60, 90 days in advance. So on a Saturday afternoon, I sit down with a cup of coffee in my office and I schedule 30 to 45 days of social media content. I do it once, Hootsuite does the rest. That's nurturing through automation. Okay, that's nurturing through automation. And then the other thing you want to do is you want to convert with personalized, high value conversation. Personalized, high value conversations. Now, in order for you and I to have high value conversations, friend, you need to see yourself with high value information. And you have to believe on the inside of yourself that you bring value to the marketplace. You bring value to that customer relationship. And then you got to walk in what I call the confidence code. Confidence attracts clients. Can you imagine you and I on a listing appointment? You have a $2 million listing and you and I are having a conversation. And during the conversation, I'm like this, well, yeah, I've been doing real estate for a little bit. I think I can do it. You're like, dude, no, you can't. As a matter of fact, turn your license in tomorrow because you're not going to make it, little guy. Confidence attracts clients. You're not begging for business. You're offering transformation. You are offering transformation. I was having a conversation with a couple that needed, and years ago, and this couple, they needed to sell a home before they can move and buy the next home. And so the wife was ready to move forward. The husband was like stuck in the mud. I hope you understand that terminology. And he's kind of like this, you know, and he was like that the whole 47 minutes that I was talking. And we got to the part where it's time for the signature. She was saying yes, he wasn't sure, right? And I just simply looked at her and said, what would it do to your plans if we didn't get your house sold today? She looked at him and gave him that look that only a wife could give you. See, that was unspoken communication. Dude, I will handle you in the backyard. Right? If you don't sign this contract. So I offer transition. I offer value and transition. What would happen if you didn't sell this house? What would happen if we didn't get it on the market today? What would that do to your plans? The confidence code, who you help, what problems you solve, and what transformation you deliver. Who you help, what problem you solve, what transformation you deliver. Friend, if when you understand your UVP, your unique value proposition, and you are highly connected to your MVP, and I don't mean most valuable player, I mean your mission, your value, and your purpose. I'm telling you now, friend, money goes away. In other words, the cost for your service, it goes away. Who you help, what problem you solve, and what transformation will you deliver? So as we progress, we want to leverage some tools. And speaking of leveraging tools, this is where Mr. Christoph is going to tell us a little bit about his powerful tool that you will have access to help take your business to the next level. Chris, the floor is yours.
Oh, that was so awesome. You know, I kept on taking notes. I hope all of you did, because Rich, this was awesome. I'm going to share a screen now, and we practiced it before, so we know it works. Here we go. and I'm
There
gonna
you go.
a little larger. So first of all, I know some notes that I took is you said, give something, right? Give a something of value. And as somebody who rather likes to give than to take, I 100% underline that. And I'm going to talk about now, how can you get listings? Instead of saying, how can I take a listing? What can I give to get a listing organically? So that is a lot more fun and a lot more rewarding than constantly saying, no, I want to take something. I want to take something. Okay, so first of all, we have to realize that last year, it was not a time where a lot of agents took listings or had listings or transactions. In fact, 71% of agents didn't have a single transaction. We were hoping that 2025 would be different. We were hoping for interest rate reduction and so on. And when that didn't really happen, we found that in this market, there's a small percentage of agents who are crushing it right now, while the majority is still struggling to get listings. And if they have a listing, to get that listing sold, find the buyers. So for all of that, I have a solution for you today. You can literally be in that percentage that actually takes listings, gets listings, and has almost like a record year, because you have still a large number of homes that can be sold, but a smaller percentage of agents actually doing it. And we want you to be one of them. One thing we all have to understand is we don't want to avoid contact in real estate. Sometimes we say, oh, what can I do to automate this and automate that and get myself out of the picture and have everything replaced, maybe with AI or maybe just with ads, and the business will magically come to me. We have to realize prospecting is still a contact sport. No matter how much technology there's out there that tries to convince you that you don't need to be visible, you don't need to talk to anyone. Yes, you do still need to have contact. In fact, I would say you should have probably at least 5, hopefully 10 new contacts every day. And that old proven value will remain true forever. Okay, you cannot take yourself out of the equation. And if you want to have success in making contacts, I propose have contacts with people who need to sell. In the industry, we have a saying, we call it the low-hanging fruit. What is a low-hanging fruit? Who are those sellers who want to sell, not a year from now, but right now? They have a pressing and urgent need to put the home on the market and get it sold as soon as possible. And there are a few, right? I mean, we could talk about distressed homeowners. We could talk about expireds. Today, we want to focus only on one niche opportunity, and that is for sale by owners. We do have solutions for the other ones as well, believe me. But let's keep it simple and talk about for sale by owners right now. Rich, you talked about mind shift, right? I propose a mind shift for sale by owners. Instead of thinking, the first thing you think is rejection, oh, they're difficult, I don't want to deal with them. Think of this: FSBO, fastest source of business opportunity. Why? Because they have the hands up in the air and they say, I have to sell a house right now. Right now. It doesn't get any easier than that. Maybe expired is a little bit easier because they even want to pay commission. They already decided that. Still, we know that NAR tells us that 80%, and in some states even a lot more, 80% of for sale by owners end up listing with an agent within a very short time. Yeah. So usually after the first failed open house. Sometimes even with the first phone call of an agent, they change their mind, when they hear some agent, who's maybe has a disruptive approach without asking for the listing. So I'm going to show you now how you can get a hold of for sale by owners really fast before your competition. And then I'm going to show you something that Rich and I 100% agree on how can you add value first instead of just having commission breath with a for sale by owner. When we look for sale by owners, there are 2 ways we can do it. We can do it ourselves, or we can use a data provider. Let me show you the difference. If you do it on your own, here's what you got to do. You got to go to Zillow, forsalebyowner.com, the online ad of every local newspaper, because this is where for sale by owners put the ads. And believe it or not, there are actually 1,300 online sources that are available for sale by owners. Most of them are 100% free, where they can post their ads. And as soon as they post an ad, they get bombarded by those opportunities, and the ad is now everywhere, right? So you could go to 1,300 sources and find all those ads and all those for sale by owners, put it into a spreadsheet and manage them. Managing means you would need to check it against the MLS every single day to make sure, is it now active or sold? Then you need to make sure that number is not on the do not call registry, because you don't want to violate the TCPA laws. You want to be compliant. And you can already tell it's a lot of work, right? You would even need to do an absentee owner lookup, because the phone number that you find for that for sale by owner might be associated with the house that is rented out or a second home. Maybe it's an Airbnb or something, but you don't know, is that the owner answering or not? So all of this work exhausts you. It puts you behind of the competition. And you feel like when you finally get a hold of them, you're competing with all the other agents, because by the time you finally get your act together and have the for sale by owner list ready, they tell you, hey, I got bombarded this morning. It's only 10 o'clock. I already heard from 20 agents. And some of them don't even talk like that. They just hang up on you because they're tired of all those phone calls. So how can you avoid the competition and actually be first to a for sale by owner and spend less time doing the research? So don't do this. Make sure that you use a system that lets you fish in a blue ocean without competition. I'm going to show you how to do that. The easiest way to do this is actually using Land Voice. There are other companies trying to do the same thing we do. We have been doing it for 30 years. We got it figured out to the point that it takes you 30 seconds or less, including logging in to the platform, clicking submit, and within seconds, it gives you the list of all those for sale by owners in your area. What if you say, hey, I don't want just the new ones, I want the old ones, because I find more success calling those that have been on the market already for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or even longer. Well, with Land Voice, you can simply type in the time criteria up to 12 months back. We know your counties, we go by counties, and all those for sale by owners now populate. The numbers are scrubbed against the do not call registry. So if it's red, it's on the DNC. If it's green, it's not. We do the absentee owner lookup. We even look for social media profiles, email addresses, all the information about the home, and even the ad. When you click on the address, it gives you the ad. Guys, how cool is that? Instead of having now to do it all yourself and always feeling like, I'm too late, I'm getting behind, you have it at your fingertips. That is a gold mine if you have a data provider that gives it to you. Not only does it save you time, it's much more accurate than if you try to do it on your own. Plus, we scrub it every day against the MLS to let you know, hey, that for sale by owner that came up 3 months ago, is it now active on the MLS? Is it sold? Even it gives you that status update. It checks for that constantly every 10 minutes. Then you can tag your lead after you called it, or you can create your own tag, use one of ours, or take notes. It even has a notes feature, and all of this stays with that record forever. And then you can export that list, put it into a label maker if you want to send out postcards, or into your CRM, whatever you want to do. I hope you can see now, if you're still doing it the old way of digging out the data yourself, how much easier that can be by using Land Voice. Rich, you talked earlier about, you always have to give away something for free, right? We want to give something to the for sale by owner for free, but we also want to give you something for free right now. I will do a free data lookup for you. And yes, there are no strings attached. Simply text me your name and your top 2 to 4 counties to 801-227-9909. That's not a number somewhere in some big sales office. That is my personal cell phone number right here. It will come to me during this webinar or at the time when you watch it, if it's a recording. What I'm going to do with that information, I'm going to look up in your counties, how many for sale by owners did you have in 1,300 online sources in the last week, in the last month, 60 days, 90 days? I even can go back to 1 year. I will have all the data ready when we jump on the call, and I will give you that free data information. You will know exactly how large is the opportunity of for sale by owners in those counties that you texted me. Is it cool? So please write this number down. Make sure you take advantage of this. Data is king. If you have access to that data and knowing how big is the opportunity, you already know much more than your competition. They simply go to forsalebyowner.com, maybe realestate.com, and that's about it. I'm going to give you everything what they don't know. Now, next, you want to add value. Okay, so let's say now you subscribe to LandVoice, you have the data for those 500 or 1,000 for sale by owners. What are you going to do? What are you going to say on the phone? Because you can easily mess it up and just get a rejection if you come in with commission breath. Well, you want to come in with value. There are different ways to do this, right? One of them, the value is I can bring you a buyer and can look at your property and check it out. Do you already have a buyer? How long do you still have your home on the market? Rich has a wonderful script for that. I'm sure he's going to give this to you later. I'm going to give you now an alternative script. It's always good to have multiple approaches that solves a big problem that they have. Because if you just say, let me talk to you, let me get that work off your back and let me list your house, no matter what you say, they say, no, I want to do it myself. Let me try it first, right? You get an instant, almost like preconceived or prepared rejection from them that they thought, when a realtor calls me, that's what I'm going to say. Well, Tony Robbins tells us actually how we can overcome that. He says, if you add the value, you become the brand. Simply find a way to add more value than anyone else. So be disruptive. So here's what I would normally do. Okay, you call them and you say, hey, first of all, I want to tell you, you're going to get a lot of calls on this number because you used your own cell phone to advertise your property. If you want to minimize the amount of calls you're getting, I suggest put your number and all the numbers in your household on the do not call registry. It's a free service. Let me text you the link. And then the text and the link, do not call.gov. So not only did I provide value to them that really rescues the privacy, right? They will thank you forever. But it also blocks the competition, because once they notice, oh, this one is on the DNC, many agents who are good agents, they will not call anymore because it's on the DNC, and they will probably rather door knock. And by that, they actually miss the opportunity already because you already talked to them over the phone before they were on the do not call registry, because we give you the number from LandVoice. Next, I would say this. I'm Christoph, I'm a real estate agent. I'm glad you put your number on the DNC. I'm actually not calling to get a listing from you at this point. In fact, I totally realize you want to sell on your own. I respect that. If I wouldn't know what I know, I probably would do the same thing. So I'm not calling to get a listing from you. I don't want to get your listing. What I'm after right now in this market, I need buyers. And I need a lot of buyers for a lot of people who have the home on the market. So I would propose, I would like to use your home as a magnet to attract buyer leads, because I know only one person can buy your home, and you're going to attract maybe 20, 30 buyers, sometimes in one day. And I would like to work with the rest who don't end up buying your home. So here's what I have worked out for you. I will give you access to a 24-hour for sale by owner marketing system, absolutely free, that not only generates more buyers for you, but it even tracks all the incoming buyer leads. You never miss an opportunity to follow up. And it even pre-qualifies the buyers before you open your home for a showing and potentially show it to a bunch of looky-loos. And I give you the system absolutely free. Nothing to sign, nothing to pay, nothing like that. And I know what you're wondering, what's the catch? What's in it for you? And of course, the question is, what's the catch? What's in it for you? And I will say, only one person can buy your home. I'd like to work with the rest. Now, I will usually say at this point, let me send you a 1.5 minute video. That video shows exactly why I'm doing this for free. And after you watch the video, or we can watch it together, I'll call you back. It's unbelievable how many people actually text you back right after watching the video because it's so good. Let me play the video for you. It's 1.5 minutes long, and see how you feel if you would see that as a for sale by owner for the first time. Here we go. Oops. Yeah, here we go.
So, you want to sell your home on your own. That's great. I bet you've had nonstop calls from real estate agents trying to get you to list your house with them. I'm sorry about that, but don't worry. I'm not trying to get you to list with me. I know that you want to sell your home on your own. Actually, I want to give you something for free that will help you manage all those phone calls and help you sell your home faster and for more money without using a real estate agent. Here's the free program I've put together. First, I will give you a toll-free number to use. You can put that number, instead of your personal phone number, on everything you use to market your house, like your property flyer, yard sign, social media, and other listing sites. This will help screen unwanted calls, free up your time, and will drive significantly more potential buyers to your property. Next, I will give you a free yard sign with that toll-free number on it and an extension number specific to your house. When a buyer calls the number and enters the extension for your property, they will hear a beautiful description of your home that I'll record for you for free. Then, after the buyer listens to the recording, they will hear your asking price and have the opportunity to press a button to leave a message or speak with you directly to set up a showing or even submit an offer. I will also give you a professionally designed property flyer with the toll-free number and extension I gave you, your photos, and the property description to help you market your house on your own. You can print it or post it to social media sites or use it however you want to help more people see your property. Here's the really cool part about the system. When the caller hangs up after listening to the recording about your house, the system captures their phone number and sends it to you in a text message or an email. Now, if you want to, you can follow up with that potential buyer at the peak of their interest. And you can keep track of how many people are checking out your house. All of this will open your house to many more qualified buyers and help you sell your home on your own faster and for more money. All you need to make this work is your cell phone. Now, you're probably wondering, why would I do all of this for free? Well, since only one buyer can purchase your home, I would like the possibility to work with the rest of the buyers who are looking for something different. I get to help them find other houses in the area. See how this system can help both of us? You get to screen your calls, market your house better, and sell your home on your own, and I get access to more potential buyers and sellers. I'd like to stop by and show you all the free materials and let you listen to the property recording of your home. I've given this system to other for sale by owners, and it's worked out great for both of us. I know you'll love this technology. It's simple, fantastic, and it really works. If you're ready, call or text me and let's get started.
Guys, what do you think? We have been using that now for years, and it has never worked better than right now. So I'm going to show you also a trick how you can actually get a lot more response, and that is using that as a text message. So some of us, we're not afraid to call for sale by owners. We're happy to call 100 if we get one deal out of it. With this strategy, you literally, if you talk to 10, 5 at least, in my case, actually about 8, say, I want a demo. I want a demo, because it makes so much sense. It's so obvious that this is an advantage for them, something they cannot pass up on. Everybody wants to have a dedicated number to selling their home. They don't want to use your own cell phone to get all those spam calls. And if that is for free, geez, sign me up. As long as I don't have to, pay anything or sign anything, give it to me. So a text message can make it even easier, because some of those for sale by owners, when you call them, they say, look, I'm really busy right now. Sounds interesting, but send me something. That is very, very common. So here's a text message you can send them. You can either send it before you talk to them. Let's say you have 20, 30 for sale by owners that morning. Send out 20, 30 text messages, copy, paste, one by one. That is a compliant way. Or you call them, and if they don't have much time, say, hey, no problem. I'll send you a text with a video link that explains what I have for you. Call me back. It's only a minute and a half long. Right? Here's the text. Hello, this is Christoph. I'm with ABC Realty. Here's a free tool that I think can help you sell your home on your own and manage all your calls. Then I include the link. I hope this helps. Not like I know this helps, but I hope this helps. Cheers. Reply, stop to opt out. And the text messages you get back is like, are you sure this is for free? I don't have to sign anything, right? Can you come by and do a demo? That is actually the most common one that you will get. Or, can you call me back? I'm available this afternoon. You always get a response. Sometimes stop. Yes, that can happen, but very few for sale by owners do that. They want to actually check out what's that free stuff. Once they hear the property commercial that was promised to them in that video, they're sold. That commercial is AI created. Our system does it automatically for you, and it sounds like a Super Bowl commercial. It's impossible for them to come up with that on their own if they try to. It is so good, and they get it for free. So that is how you find yourself quickly at their living room, doing a demo, giving them the free stuff. And in my case, sometimes that leads immediately to a listing appointment because they get to know me and then they say, oh, that sounds cool, but hey, tell me a little bit, how much do you charge? I talked to a couple of other agents because now the ice is broken. I'm in the living room and they have questions for me. They want to look at all the options. And sometimes I walk out with a listing right away. Wasn't even my intent. My intent was to give them something for free they can use for a couple of weeks and see how it works for them. And if it doesn't work for them, if they still want to list with an agent, of course, I'm happy to help them. And you will get the listing anyway in most cases. But sometimes you get it right away. So here's what they are getting, right? They're getting the toll-free number you see right here. They're getting a free property commercial that Landvoice gives you a little app, that records it for them. It sounds awesome. You will also get a flyer, and that Landvoice creates that for you because the more you give them, like the sign, the flyer, the PDF of the flyer, the more they say, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I almost feel like I have like agent tools without having to sign with an agent. I feel much more powerful right now. Put your mortgage lender up here. Why? You want to make sure that they understand that call capture number that is captured when a buyer calls gets sent to them in an email, but it also gets sent to you, the agent, so that you can follow up and see how it's going. But most importantly, it gets sent to a mortgage lender because you have to realize from all those people that are calling this number on a for sale by owner, only a few of them are real buyers. Many of them are other agents, spam callers, looky-loos, people with bad intent, like scam callers. And if you provide a solution to the for sale by owner, you don't have to deal with wondering who is who and is that a real lead? Can I open my home? That's kind of scary to just any random stranger. A mortgage lender actually gets that lead the same second that I get it as a for sale by owner, and they go through the list, they call them and weed out all the scammers, all the other the agents and looky-loos. And they actually look for people who are pre-qualified to purchase the for sale by owner's home. And they will call back the for sale by owner and say, out of those 15 people, those 3 people are real qualified buyers. Guys, what you just created is a 3-way unbreakable alliance between the mortgage lender, the for sale by owner, and yourself. They depend on you now, and they need you to provide them with really good qualified buyer leads. Okay. Now that is when we're talking about first you give and then you receive. That is a wonderful way how you can do this. You give them great value, give them what they want, and in return, because most of them still don't sell it on their own, 80% end up listing with an agent, you will get 80% of those for sale by owners as a listing. All right, this is just what happens. And I'm going to show you a video testimonial here in a second. Here's what the platform looks like when those leads are coming in. It gives you all the information, even if the number is not even listed. It captures the number of those buyers. Here is what the app looks like, and you can actually use that app to do the property commercial. It gives you all the leads for the buyers. Guys, what do you do with the buyers who don't want to buy that for sale by owner's home, who actually tell the for sale by owner, I don't qualify for your home or not really interested? You now have buyers to show other homes to, like for expireds, for instance, who say, can you bring a buyer? Or right now I have a list of 20 buyers that want to move in that neighborhood because I get informed of all the buyer leads from 4 for sale by owners in that neighborhood. I have the list right here, and I show them the list from LandVoice. And now you get the expired's trust that you actually can provide the buyers. Okay, all through that simple method by giving first. The number can not only be used for sale by owners, but you can use unlimited extensions for postcards, door hangers. LandVoice creates all of those PDFs for you for free. That is just part of the system once you're a client of LandVoice. You don't pay extra for that. Okay, and we know how to do it, and we've got it figured out. It's very, very professional. You can even use it on a sign writer for your existing listings, because a non-confrontational voice recording and a toll-free number creates more buyer interaction than even your own number if you have it on a existing listing, because it's non-confrontational. People rather listen to a property commercial than talking to a person. You still capture it. Now, let me show you one agent here who talks about call capture. Of course, we have thousands of agents who say it changed everything for them, but we have time for only one. Here we go.
Hey guys, what's up? This is John Gianosis with the Gianosis Group out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. A lot of you already know me. I am born and raised out here. And I'm here in front of my LandVoice booth because I was talking to my guys, and I wanted to make sure that I let you know a little bit about my experience with LandVoice. So I signed up last year when I was in Bold, and again, I've been in real estate since 2008. It's my first time using LandVoice. Last year, I signed up for call capture. I signed up for the expired FSBO and the neighborhood searches. And the business blew up after I started taking advantage of the for sale by owner program. So I used to work with for sale by owners without this, and it was very difficult. You guys know that obviously it's a numbers game, and it's all about the value you bring to your clients. Once I created my personal system around this and I tweaked a few things and then I made it my own, this thing's been blowing up. Basically what I'm doing is I'm offering people services for the first 30 days for free. And I put the sign in the yard. It's not my brokerage sign. So again, there's no contracts being signed, no commissions. And it expires in 30 days. The reason why it expires in 30 days is because statistics show that these for sale by owners, if they don't sell in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, they're going to hire a real estate agent. So all I ask in return is if the home does not sell with my marketing, I want to be able to compete for the listing with any other agents that you hire. So we also do not, we basically give you the yard sign, we give you the 800 number, the extension, and the professional voice recording that's circulating 24 hours a day. The people that call or sign up, they get a text message. So the owners get the message and they get to call them, and we also get it. However, we cannot communicate with those potential leads until the deal is under contract. I know that's a lot of information. I hope you
guys, he's so excited. He keeps on talking, but I just want to tell you that one thing he didn't mention is he got over 50 transactions just from for sale by owners in 1 year. And before that system, he was happy with just like 5-10 transactions, which is still a lot, but he basically just blew it out of the water, right? So you can do that too. It will change everything. So another thing I want to give you for free today is free dialogues and video. It says pre-foreclosure dialogues. I should have taken that out. That is included. Yes, there are pre-foreclosure dialogues, but also for sale by owner dialogues, a whole ebook on call capture, which is very short. It's a 10-minute read. And now you have word by word the script that you can use as you talk to those folks about call capture. We also have expired scripts in there and even circle prospecting scripts. You can get it at landvoice.com/free free downloads or go to the QR code on the screen. It takes you to the same page. Now, for those of you who say, my gosh, stop talking. Tell me, what can I do to sign up? I'm going to tell you that right now, okay? We give you the whole system of call capture unlimited. There's no extra cost that you have except maybe having to buy maybe 4 for server owner signs. And those are like 20-something bucks from LandVoice. Or you can get your own from your own sign maker, but I think it's cheaper with us. But you get everything included from for server owners, 2 counties, with all the information, with a 1-year back database, and everything going forward. If you do the 1-year agreement, then you get it for 1 year, every single day, Monday through Sunday. Okay, not just on weekdays. And you get unlimited call capture with everything that I told you about or what this call capture system does, with all the marketing included. If you do this, it's only, and you probably thought, oh, this must be so expensive, $1,000 a month or something, which would be worth it if you get one listing. My gosh, of course it is worth it. And you gotta get a lot more in a month than just one transaction. It's only $120 a month, guys. And today, we always do that in a webinar, we give you a bonus. So we double the counties. Remember I said there are 2 counties that you're getting. Today, I will double it. Double the counties. You have to see it like that. It means double the data, which means double the transactions, but means potentially doubling your commission. Not potentially, but actually simple math, it does, right? That is a $200 value, normally 2 extra counties. I give you that for free for life. Grandfathered in, it will never be taken away from you. You can even switch those counties around as often as you want, which means you could literally rotate or circle through many different counties and get all the data. So with those 2 extra counties in a monthly cost, that would be $140 a month, and I'm gonna give you a better deal. The special webinar offer for you is $99. So we take $41 off a month. Okay, this is exciting, guys. For only $99 a month, you can now work with for server owners in a much more powerful way. And if you were only getting like 1 or 2 transactions in a year or in a quarter from for server owners, you can do that now every single week if you wanted to, because there's enough data and we train you on how to do it. I will also offer you the free for server owner lookup. If you remember, for those of you who said, I should have done this, where is that number? Here it is, 801-227-9909. You can go to that website right now and just put in that information, and I will do the lookup for you. And I expect to see a lot of text messages, and I promise to get back to you, okay? And then we can talk about, if you want to take advantage of LandVoice, but for sure you should have that data in your pocket. So with that, I hope you took all the notes that you could get. You got to the free download link to get the videos. And back to you, Rich.
That's really awesome. And I like what you said about the investment. You think about it, if you do 1 or 2 deals, your first 30 days, your subscription is paid for, right? More than paid for, I should say. And so don't look at costs. I encourage, the agents that I have an opportunity, or sales professionals that I have an opportunity to work with, don't look at the cost. It's an investment. Mm-hmm. And you already have the money. It's just a matter of allocating it to moving your business forward. And so that, that's important. So I appreciate you, Chris, taking some time today to be on a call with me. And I do want to let those know that have been tracking from the beginning that I do have an ebook. It's the How to Close More Deals. It's an ebook. If you're interested in the ebook, let me know. It's about a 15-page ebook. We'll send that out to you. Just comment below ebook, and I'll know exactly what you mean, and we'll get that ebook out to you. The final piece I want to give those that are hungry and ready to take the next step. Let me give you a script that it's guaranteed to get you in the room, and that's the 3-step process of when you're making those phone calls. Step 1 is it available? Step 2, and I'm talking about call for sell by owner. Mm-hmm. Step 1 is it available? Step 2 is how soon can I see it? Step 3 is, oh, by the way. And so typically when I'm making phone calls, I know that I have to speak to the person's dominant need. And what's the dominant need is they want to connect with the qualified buyer. And so I don't want to push the rock up the hill. I want to push the rock down the hill. What does that mean? I don't want to work against momentum. I want to work with momentum. And how you work with momentum is you speak to their dominant need. Hi, I'm calling about the house on 123 Indy Street. Is it available? The thought is he a buyer? And they're willing to have that conversation. And then while they're willing to have that conversation, my next question is, how soon can I see it? Wham! I set the appointment. And by the way, is, you have to identify yourself as a licensed professional. You can't sneak it in later. I usually say something like, I work with a team of realtors that may have a buyer purchasing in your range. 85% of the time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm setting that appointment. I'm going over to take a look at that house. So that's it for today. Again, if you want the ebook, just comment ebook. Christoph has done a fantastic job of presenting the information. If I talk too fast, it's going to be reposted on LinkedIn. It's going to be on 2 separate Facebook page. And later in the week, we're going to push it out to the YouTube channel. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Christoph, thank you so much, sir, for being on today with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.